Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to write a tasks and workflow specification in LittleHorse. Once we get more familiar with the platform, we'll start to build more complex business processes in later tutorials. There are three things we need to do when we develop in LittleHorse. We need to write a task worker, which executes a task. We need to define the workflow and run the workflow. In this example, it has one task called greet. When the workflow is executed, it will ask for an input name and run the greet task with that input name. There are two Python scripts here. One is for the task worker, which connects to LittleHorse and execute a task. You could almost consider a task as a microservice to deliver some business capability. And the task worker you're writing here registers your microservice into the LittleHorse engine. The LittleHorse engine will then run the service according to your workflow specification in this Python script. The workflow specification is like a blueprint of your business process. You are writing your business logic here to tell different services, different tasks, who they should talk to, how they should interact with each other, in what sequence, what task or event should happen first, what comes after. Because you're separating the business logic from your business services in LittleHorse, your microservices will be loosely coupled. It's much easier and faster to change or add other services because you simply modify the logics in your workflow specification. Let's take a look at the task worker first. We have a function to serve as a task function within the workflow. It takes name, which is a string, and an instance of worker context to give you a workflow run ID. Write a greeting message and include the workflow run ID printed off, return the message as a string. In the main function, we add logging, so it logs a message indicating the task worker starts running. Load the configuration, call the start function from LittleHorse to initiate the task worker, which will run the tasks in your workflow. LH task worker will turn function or method into a LittleHorse task. Greeting refers to the greeting function we defined here. Greet is a string that represents the name of the task in LittleHorse. So you have the greeting function, your application code. And later, when we work on the workflow specification, we will use this greet string to represent the functionalities of your greeting function here. So when the LittleHorse engine has a greet task to execute, it will invoke the greeting function to run. So here, we're basically starting a task worker that will handle the greet task. It will execute the greeting function when the greet task is triggered. Now, we have the task worker ready to go. Next, we define our workflow. We move to the other script and write the workflow specification. This is basically the business logic. It's like the glue code to tell LittleHorse how you want different services or different tasks to talk to each other and how you want them to run. We have a function quick start workflow to include the logic of your workflow. It takes a workflow thread object as an argument. This object represents the running instance of the workflow. We add a new variable, the name. It is a string, and we also made it searchable, meaning it can be queried or used as a reference in LittleHorse. And then the greet task that we just defined from the task worker will be executed with the name as the input variable passed to the task. Next, the main function, LHConfig, will load the configuration from the environment variables. We're going to register this workflow specification and the greet task with the LittleHorse server. I'm going to test with my friend's name, Jacob. I'm going to register the workflow, run the workflow with the name Jacob, and in a separate terminal, run the worker. And it prints off, hello, Jacob. Now in the dashboard, you could see the workflow is completed and an output, hello, Jacob, and the workflow run ID. Alright, now you know how to write a task and workflow specifications in LittleHorse. In the next video, I'm going to show you how we can add more tasks in LittleHorse. Thanks for watching.